Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today we're going to play with some of the makeup that I received for Christmas and my birthday. The first thing that I did go ahead and put on my face already is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Prima. I love this stuff. I got a little sample size of it. I think it was a Sephora point or something, and I was like, hell to the yeah, I want to try it. And I loved it. The reason I bought the mini is not because I didn't want to buy the full size, but I'm not for sure this is how this is going to work for my skin in the warmer months, which are imminent. And I'm holding on to that hope. So that's already applied. I just put that in my T-zone, and then we are going to go in with my Missha Perfect Cover BB Cream in the shade number 23. This is not new to my collection. It is, however, my favorite. It's my perfect foundation for sure. I love that I apply it with my fingers. I didn't ever think I would love that, to be honest. But I do, and it's one of those things. It definitely looks gray when you first apply it, but as you work it into the skin, that gray tone completely goes away. It lasts all day on me. It looks like skin, which is a plus. I think it covers just enough of my discoloration and things like that I'm happy with the coverage, but it also doesn't cover so much that it looks like I'm wearing a layer of foundation. For concealer, again, nothing new here. I didn't buy any concealers for Christmas. But this is the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate concealer in the shade C7. And the only reason I wanted to mention it is because even though I don't pick a full face in my Shop My Stash with my friend Kelly, I do kind of shop my stash for foundations, concealers, primers, that kind of thing. I just do that behind the scenes. And this month I'm using this one, and then my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. So that's the only reason I'm bringing that up. The other thing I wanted to mention, and some probably be like, okay, Kyra, it's been 8 days into the new year, but if you missed my 2020 channel resolutions, I'll have that linked down in the description box for you and in the cards. The goal is, number one, to not spend more than $50 a month on makeup. That doesn't include skincare. And then it also is about not purchasing more than 6 palettes in 2020. But I gotta say, already I feel like it's changing the way I look at new releases. And I don't know why this is different than last year. I'm just going in with a little bit of the Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. Again, not a Christmas thing. I think it's been interesting in a couple of ways. One, the first time I realized that it was starting to change my thinking was when the new Natasha Denona Glam, the little 5-pan guy, came out. Because normally I would have been all over that. I've been really into neutrals lately, and it is a more cool tone neutral palette from her, and it's, I don't want to say only $25, because $25 for 5 pans of eyeshadow is not a small amount. But anyhow, normally, like I said, I would have been all over that. But then I was like, you only have 6 palettes that you can buy this year, Kyra. And then I was like, well, if I buy this, what if, ABH comes out with a new palette, which of course we know now they are with Amrezy. And then what if Lorac comes out with a new palette? What if Natasha Denona brings out another large palette, which is a good chance, if not a certainty. And I just started thinking about You know, what if Tati Beauty brings out another eyeshadow palette this year, which is the next 7 Looks 1 palette coming at you? And, you know, so on and so on. And I just kind of was like, okay, yeah, I better not pick this up right now. I don't know if that one is limited edition. And ultimately, guys, it doesn't matter. I probably have those shades in my collection already, although not in the Natasha Denona formula. And I do really love her eyeshadows. I like mini palettes like that, especially for days when I'm trying to get out the door quickly and things like that. So anyhow, that's the first way that I kind of noticed myself changing the way I was thinking about new releases. And then I made an order on Sephora, and then I made an order on Ulta, and here we are on January 8th, and I've spent my budget for the month, which is $50. So then yesterday or the day before, I see that ABH and Amrezy are collaborating on a 14 pan eyeshadow palette. It looks really pretty. It's, you know, it's got a lot of light shimmers in it. It's got a few pops of color that are really beautiful. And normally, again, I would be all over that. I would be all over it like, you know what, on you know what. For sure. But then I was like, okay, when is this coming out? January 19th in stores? Your budget spent, baby. So now it's like, if I want that palette, I'll have to wait till February, which, you know, ultimately, like when really looking at it, I don't think it's anything I don't have. That's not to say it won't be one of the 6 that I purchased this year, but it's not going to be in January. And so I think that'll be good, actually. And I kind of celebrated the fact that I don't have the budget to buy it this month, because I'll have to wait till February, which means I'll have a really good idea by February whether I actually want this palette or not, or if it's the hype. Not that the hype will be gone by February 1st, but by then we'll have a lot more information. Not going to talk through my brows. I'm using just this little sample size of the ABH Brow Wiz in the shade Taupe. I actually really like this color, and I do like this pencil. I just don't know that I would ever purchase it. So I'm going to do my brows, and we'll be right back to get into the new stuff. I have 2 bronzers I want to share with you today. So we're going to contour with one and bronze with the other. So I'm pretty sure I've shared this. I know I used this in like part of my 7 looks with Jackie Aina and some other videos. You might have seen it down in the description box, but I did treat myself in December for Christmas to myself with the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze Glow. I have always wanted this precious, beautiful thing. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. This is what she looks like. And this is the product I was talking about, of course, that we're going to contour with. I'm loading up my brush, and here we go. And anyhow, I just really wanted this. I've wanted it probably since I knew it was in existence, which was probably 2 years ago when I started watching YouTube. And, well, over 2 years ago, because yesterday, oh, I guess I didn't even think about it, but I think yesterday was my 2-year anniversary. It's my YouTube anniversary yesterday on my birthday, and so I've been on YouTube for 2 years now. That's kind of crazy. I just love everything about this product in terms, of course, the packaging. Packaging's gorgeous, but also I just love the feel of it. I liked the products. I mean, it's no secret. I tried some Charlotte Tilbury in 2019, and I was a big fan. So, anyhow, I did finally bite the bullet and buy this, and I love it. Yes, I love it. It's beautiful. I did, in my top 5 beauty buys from Amazon, talk about a very, very, very close dupe product that you can get from Amazon. So I'll link that video down below in case you missed it. And you can see which option, if either, would be right for you. To bronze, we're gonna go into another thing I've wanted to try for a long time. This is the Balm Take Home the Bronze in the shade Oliver. Looks like so, and this is a favorite bronzer for so many people here on the BeauTube, so I've just wanted to try it, and I like it so far. I've only used it a few times because I had a major influx of products in December, especially. And I may do another Get Ready With Me featuring the products I got for my birthday, because at this point I do know that my kids have 2 other gifts coming for me that I'm like 95% certain are makeup. So if that's the case, I may do another Get Ready With Me using, you know, birthday stuff. I really like this bronzer. It's very pretty. Very pretty. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do some highlight before we apply blush. And I'm going to go back into the Filmstar Bronze and Glow, and I'm going to use the highlight shade. I really like this. This is a pretty neutral, ivory leaning champagne highlight. Gives me the shivers. So good. So good. And I actually find it to be relatively similar. I find it to be relatively similar in shade to my Flawless filter, my Hollywood Flawless filter. I like it on my eyes. I think Jessica Brown has talked about how she likes to use this on her eyes more than anything, which is interesting to me. I agree. I like it on my eyes. I reach for it all the time for bronzer and highlight. So I'm not going to not use it because it's beautiful and special. Alrighty, another one that I've had for a minute but haven't used on my channel yet, I don't think, forgive me if I'm wrong, is the Hourglass Ghost, what is this called? The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Quad Ghost. And I'm loving this. I wouldn't say that I feel like I know it the best just yet. So the shade I'm going to use today is this shade right here, which is number 4, which is Infinite Flush. I may add just a touch of the cooler pink tone down here on the apples because the eye look that I'm going for is a little more, wow. Cool tone today. Alright, like I said, I'm going to go into this little bit cooler pink, which is the shade Surreal Effect, and just place this right on the apples. There we go. Yeah. And then just gently blend it with the wrist. So I did accumulate quite a few new palettes over the holidays. And so I just wanted to pick one to work with today, and you're going to see the other ones in various capacities here on my channel in the near future. But the one I want to play with today, and I've really wanted this one, and I kind of let negative reviews dissuade me for quite a while, and maybe I'll learn my lesson, and maybe I won't. But it is the Sephora Pro Pigment Palette Editorial 2.0. I think this is such a pretty color story, and I've been really, really craving like a lavender eye look, and so that's what we're going to create today. But first I want to dive into my Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette, my very well loved Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette, and I want to pick up this shade Lavender and go ahead and put that in the transition and crease area. So going into the shade Lavender, which, by the way, this is one of the palettes that I'm sort of unofficially panning or making progress on in 2020, and I will link that video up in the cards and in the description box in case you missed that one. I'm taking this small, dense brush, and I really want to try and build the lavender up and the transition shade in the transition area. Try not to blend it as much, because it will just blend away. But this is legitimately one of the only lavender shadows in my collection. So I actually think the next shade I'm going to go into is this one right here called Fairy from the Sephora Editorial 2.0. First placing it on the outer part of the lid here, and then working it up into the crease. Another thing I got for Christmas from my son, which you will probably start noticing in today's video and one previous video, which I can't remember which one it was, but my son found this little microphone that plugs into my iPhone, which is what I film on, and it's a mic. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know they made such a thing, or I would have bought it a long time ago. And it really makes a difference in the quality of sound, especially when I have to do things in the editing process, like block out background noise, like, because I always have to have a fan blowing on me because studio lights are very, very hot. I think the shade I'm going to wear on the lid, or at least the first shade, is going to be this. Ooh, you can see that it's a duochrome right here called Illusion. But before I do that, I am going to give it its best chance to cling and use some NYX glitter glue. So have you guys ever tried any of these Sephora Pro palettes? I don't feel like they get the best reviews here on YouTube. But I partially think that's because there are so many. I mean, this, I won't lie to you and say that this is anywhere close to the most amazing formula just based on the few times that I've used it already, because it's not. But I will say it's a good formula. But I wonder if just because there's so many amazing eyeshadows at Sephora in terms of brands like Natasha Denona and Charlotte Tilbury, and, you know, insert brands here. And so sometimes I wonder if that's why these don't get a better shake on YouTube. Alright, I'm curious how this will act if I spray it, so I am going to go ahead and do that. I don't spray my shadows very often, and I've talked about this before. I feel like it makes my eyeshadows a little crusty sometimes. Totally missed the brush the first time. Good job. But we'll find out. Oh yeah, that definitely helped intensify it. And I'm just sort of dabbing it on top, hoping to build it. It's really pretty. I love me a duochrome, and there are quite a few in here, which is, I think, probably ultimately why I decided to get it. I'm going to first go into this beautiful light blue right here, which actually swatches very well, so I'll be excited to see how it performs on the eye. I'm going to pick this up and sort of take it just around the edges of this first deeper purple that we used. Also take that same shade on a little smudger brush and go ahead and do a little blendy blend on the lower lash line. This is turning like really ethereal and gorgeous. There's this really pretty shade called Psychic, and it's also a duochrome, and I can't, oh man, that is so pretty. I don't know if I want that today. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Alright. I do think I'm going to spray it though, because it is a little chunky. It's hard to see. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to see in any way that this is a duochrome. It just looks white in the pan. But it also does look a little chunky or flaky. So I am going to spray it. I haven't sprayed my brushes in so long. I don't want to bring it too far into the caverns, but I am going to pull it up in front of Illusion, and then I kind of think I might want a little bit on the just very most inner part of the lid here. I think we need depth though. I do think we need depth. And for that, I am going to go back into my Lorac Mega Pro 2 because I really feel like the only shade that's going to go well, in my opinion, with what I've got going on already is gray. So I'm going to go into this gray matte right here, which is called Ash. Teeny tiny blending brush. Start that right on the outer part of the lid and just work in very small, very light pressure circular motions. And sometimes you'd be surprised how a little teeny tiny, like a wash of depth, will make all the difference in the world. And then I'll bring that just a little tiny bit down onto the lower lash line, just to make sure everything's connected and all that good stuff. Real quick, I'm going to pop off of here, do some eyeliner, and then we'll come back for a new mascara and maybe a new lip. I hope it goes with this look. I've curled my lashes, and we're going to talk about a brand new mascara. I don't know why I said it that way. From CoverGirl. This is from their Exhibitionist line of mascaras, but this one is called the Uncensored. I like to kind of go through first and coat with a very thin layer all of my lashes, and then go back to the beginning and sort of wiggle to go through all the lashes again, and then I go and I get right at the base of the lashes and go through that way. So the only new lippy I got during December, I purchased for myself. This was the other thing I picked out for myself for my own Christmas gift, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick in the shade Very Victoria. I'm going to use my MAC Whirl lip liner, and then one thing I did get for Christmas was the trio of the Rachel Zoe and Lorac lip glosses. So I pulled out the more pinky one, and we'll see if that helps with the lip situation. So I would say the main difference between Very Victoria and Pillow Talk is a little bit more pinky, and Very Victoria, as you can see, is quite a bit more nude. I'm going to jump off of here, do something about this hair, put on some jewelry, and then we will come back for some final thoughts on the products that I used today. All right, we're back and we're finished, and here is the final look. This is what the hair is going to look like today. I knew something was missing, and what it was is my eyebrows were too light, so I did finish off the eyebrows with the Essence Make Me Brow in number 2 Soft Brownie Brows. And you guys, I actually really love how this look turned out. I really enjoyed using the Sephora Pro Editorial 2.0. I'm really enjoying the Hourglass palette, as well as the Filmstar Bronze Glow, and of course this lipstick. I finished recently this little teeny tiny sample of Pillow Talk, and I knew I loved this matte formula, and there's just nothing like a special lipstick to make a girl feel special. So that was why I treated myself to that. Let me know if you have any thoughts on these products. If you have any of these products, what are your thoughts? And with all of that said, thank you so much to each and every one of you who continues to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful lavender makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.